Alright, Brickers, we've got a new arrival on the driveway, so let's go and check it out. That's right, Brickers, we've got a 1996 Volvo 940. Now, this is not my car. This is my friend Ian's car, but it is going to be on the channel for a little bit, just going out of the sunshine. So my plan is to take this car to the Grand Talk Volvo event at Elvington on, I think, the 18th of September. And the reason I've got it now, well, a couple of reasons. Firstly, there's a bit of an exhaust blow issue. It seems to be loud when it's on boost, like an external wastegate. So we're gonna jack the car up and have a look at the exhaust system, see if there's anything that we can fix or if it just needs some new bits buying. I believe it's a completely stock exhaust system, apart from the back box has been replaced with a pipe. Secondly, because I'm taking this car to the Talk Volvo event, I didn't want it just to look completely stock, so what I want to do is test fit the Banded Steelies, because they don't fit very nicely on a stock brick. So I'm going to test fit them. On the drift car, I've normally got the wider 10J up front and then the 9J on the rear, but I think on a stock brick the best way to do it is to have the 10J on the rear, the 9J on the front with a 5mm spacer, and then we poke out a bit. But on a stock height brick, we shouldn't be rubbing too much. But my plan would be just to swap everything over at once we arrived at Elvington anyway. Might also get some sort of Drifty Bricker stickers on the back, or maybe down the side of the car or something like that. Just so when we're cruising around Talk Volvo event, everyone will know it's me. So a little bit more about the car. So as I said, it's a 96 940. It's the best spec you can have, really, because not only is it a 2.3 litre turbo red block, best engine, 96, which means you get the oil squirters, better rods, LH 2.4, you know, all the good stuff that you got in the later years of the red blocks that the Americans didn't get. And the other main thing that the Americans didn't get was the M90 gearbox, which this car also has. Bit of a daily driver spec, stockish, 13C turbo, just at 10 psi. It's about the only modification. Tow bar, stock suspension, stock everything. Some things are a little bit tired. Just a proper, decent, honest turbo brick. Central locking. Oh, how fancy is that? Let's have a look under the engine bay. Red block. That's one of my stickers. There we go. It's been a while. There you go, 13C, 2.3 turbo red block. Not much more else to say about that. Do have to have a look at the exhaust though. Hoping the exhaust leak isn't up this end. kind of looks okay on the face of it. Nothing obvious. Just in case there was any doubt. M90! M90! Oh, even got one of my stickers. Wait. Let's get it jacked up, see what's going on with the exhaust. Right, brickers, we'll try and do it properly and go from front to back. The manifold looked okay. Again, there doesn't look to be too much there. And then we'll go to the downpipe. Bit of a weird, you can see that, a weird like twisty thing. It's a bit strange. No evidence of exhaust blowing though. Turbo oil drain life. Oh, misread blocks. So, this is again just stock, horrible crush bent downpipe. Thanks Volvo. Crusty, but again, pretty much intact. This is all quite crusty, but also looks like it's sealing exhaust gases. I've looked on the other side. Looks okay. Some sort of cat thing. And we'll shuffle down. Again, we're looking, you know, surface rust, but not too bad. Now this join here, this is looking extra crusty. But again, it doesn't look like there's anything leaking. I don't know if I'll be able to take this apart without it crumbling away to nothing. Oh dear. I think we're going to need a new exhaust. So we have the silencer going up just before, in that cavity just before the rear axle. There's a bit of crust here, doesn't look too bad. Crust around here, but I mean the exhaust isn't leaking. Draining rust. Now it's possible that the internals of the silencer have failed. That could be an option. Ooh, I can see a crack over there just before the rear axle as it goes up and over. Right. It's going to go the other side of the rear axle and go and take a look. There we go. So this is the view from behind the rear axle. Doesn't look too bad attached to the silencer, but if we go up here to the connection, there's your problem. It's basically come off at this connection here. Oh, it's, yeah, okay. It's not even attached. Righto. And then, just for the record, you've got your bend over the rear axle, and then it's welded this stainless piece on, looks like. Quite nicely, to be fair, to just a tailpipe. I honestly don't think I can fix that just with the welder. I think that's too crusty. what we may have to do is buy the bend, the stock bend over the rear axle, and maybe buy a centre section or something, because this is all quite crusty. But it does mean buying a silencer. Look at the stock panhard rod. I love this when you see like really crusty old Volvos and you just look at all that. Yeah, all that crust. Love it. You know what I mean? It's all brown, but it's all structurally sound, mostly. These are the best brakes. Well, Brickers, I think a very temporary fix is not worth it on that rusty part of the exhaust. So what I think I'm going to do is cut the broken piece and very, very rusty piece off and replace it with a sleeve, and it'll give us a decent semi-permanent fix. So while I'm waiting for the metal to arrive, I think what we'll do now is test fit some banded steelies. Question is, do I get the tyres fitted first? Because what the chances are we're taking the 940 to get the tyres fitted. Yeah, let's do it. Just to show you the state of the tyres on the banded steelies. Go to my tyre wall. These are all the spent ones. Need disposing of. Alright, sunshine. Go the other way. There we go. That's a bit better, isn't it? This is my other tyre wall. So we've got the banded steelies there at the bottom. Kindly been donated some tyres actually, which is something I've been meaning to talk about. So we've got these from a colleague at work. Colin, look at these, man. Those are the Accelera 651 Sports that Tyre Streets have been doing recently, semi-slicks. They're only 215 4017, but I think I can make them work, and I think the grippy boys will go really well on the back of the brick. And also from my neighbour, well, these were free by the way, well, you know, beer tokens. Also, I got these 20-odd-year-old Bridgestone something or others. Winters, Bridgestone winter tyres, but they've got like 8mm tread on them. They're fresh from Japan actually. So my friends he imported an Evo 5 from Japan last month, and that's the tyres that I came on. They were 20-year-old winters, but they're like pretty much brand new, so they should be fun to turn into smoke. But anyway, so this is the banded steelies, and then you see that tyre's kind of past its best, so I've been drifting on them. These are what I had on the fronts, the Nankang NS2Rs on the 10Gs, and these are pretty much spent as well. So I think my plan will be to take all 4 steelies and a load of tyres and see what we can get on. The 215 4017s will be a bit of stretch, and because the semi-slicks, they don't stretch very easily, so they might be a bit of a struggle to get on. But these here, I mean, there's no cracking in them. They're in new condition, apart from the bird crap. They've got really good tread on them, and also the 225 4517s, which will go on the 9Js and the 10Js pretty easily. So for now, just to roll around on at Elvington at the airstrip, I think rather than the grippy boys, we'll go for the slightly wider, softer tyres. Lots of grip on them. That's not good. The struts aren't holding themselves up. Looking for a broomstick. Nope. It's up. Let's go and get some wheels and tyres. We're good. So we're loaded full of tyres. We're going to go to the tyre place and get some tyres fitted to the Banded Steelies. I'm so excited. I think this is the first time driving a 940 in 4 years. Certainly a stock one, maybe 7 years. Oh, I'm so excited, man.
Beautiful, look. Beautiful.
Yeah. I am absolutely loving this 940. It's class just pootling about in this thing. Amazing. I've got some 2.5 inch pipe, so hopefully this will be able to fix the exhaust. The internal diameter, the outside diameter is 2.25 inch, I think. Or the internal diameter is 2.25 inch. The external diameter is like a bit more than 2.25 inch. So I'm hoping to bridge the gap with this 2.5 inch pipe. Just kind of cut a slot in it and then clamp it. And hopefully we'll have something that seals and isn't made out of rust. Now I'm back. I'm just waiting for the exhaust to cool down a bit since I've been for a drive before I start tackling that. But now I've got the tyres mounted. I think we'll have a little test fit and see how these sit on a stock brick. Now, on the drift car, the 10Js are on the front with the mad camber and the 9Js are on the back. So what I'm going to do now is go the other way, which is how I originally had it when I had a brick that was close to stock suspension, and see how ridiculous they look with a brick at stock height. Lock and wheel not key, no idea where it is. Found it. He's in here in the toolkit. Oh, there we go. Right. That's a weird design, I've never seen that before. Right, the threads and the nuts are not very good. I don't want to push these too far just in case, but these went, all three of these went on very smoothly, so it's not too bad. Put that one on a little bit more. Now what we'll do is we'll let the car down and see how it sits. The driver's side is a little bit saggy. And considering, I think, you know, if you look there, we have got the tread covered by a wheel arch. Obviously it's a bit pokey, but a bit paddy flush, whatever you want to call it. Colour combo on point. Found a couple of spare nuts and they went straight on, so the problem is with these horrible nuts. So I might re-tap them, but otherwise I think we might need some new nuts. So now for the front. This is where it gets a little bit interesting, because even though the rear's a straight fit, no spacers, the fronts are going to need a minimum 5mm spacer. They might even need a 10mm spacer in order to clear the shock tower. So all of my spacers at the moment are on the drift car because I was running stock wheels. I've got all the spacers attached to the drift car, which is not here. I've just got a limo and a 340 and a brick. I have got one spacer. It's only 5mm. So I want to see if I can get the 9J wheels onto the front of the car with just this. Otherwise, it might be a trip to Halfords. Right, so we've got the wheel off. Just looking around, look how crusty that is. A bit of a knock when I was driving, particularly on the other side, so we'll see how that looks, but this car needs some parts. But you know, it works and it drives. I've got a 5mm spacer here. I don't know if it'll be enough, but we'll try, and then we'll slide the wheel on and see if it touches up here. This is normally where it'll connect. Stopped recording there. Look at that, loads of room. I think without a 5mm spacer it might be touching. So we need another 5mm spacer if we want to get all four on. But for now, what we can do is put this wheel on and then we'll get her sitting on the ground. How pretty that is. Stellar Performance have just sent me a picture of my turbo sitting on its exhaust manifold in the engine bay for the first time. And I'm very, very happy and excited. Right, so what's left to do on this side is let the car down, tighten up the wheel nuts, and then might have a trip to Halfords in the limo, because I don't want to drive on odd wheels, to get a 5mm spacer, and I might get a couple of exhaust clamps for a 2.5 inch, just because I might need that for the exhaust job. Stock brick height for the win. Good morning, brickers. Well, it's the next day. I had to go to work yesterday, kind of ran out of time, but I've got the Banded Steelies on the brick for now. I went on a little test drive. Seems to drive okay, so I'm going to call that good. I'm going to put the stock wheels, which are now in the boot. Going to put the stock wheels back on and just drive around with the stock wheels, and the Banded Steelies will go on when we get to Elvington to the Grand Talk Volvo event. I don't want to drive around on these because they're a little bit stretchy, a little bit pokey, and it doesn't handle very good on such stretchy tyres. So I'm going to put the stock wheels back on. Now I've confirmed that we could complete a parade around Elvington on the Banded Steelies. So today's job, since I didn't get around to it because I was messing about with the wheels, is the exhaust. So I'm going to see if we can bodge a semi-permanent fix on the exhaust. Got a bit of 2.5 inch pipe. I'm hoping that's not too big, since the stock exhaust is 2.25 inch. This is 2.5 inch, but we'll have a look. So the first job, I'm gonna try and remove the rusty clamp, get the back section off the car, and then see what we're left with. Gonna try and cut off the most rusty part and then bridge the section I cut off with the new bit. I might need to do some welding, so we'll see how it goes. So I think my first job, I'm going to try and get this rusty clamp off. You see that's not connected. So I'm going to get the rusty clamp off and then take the whole rear section off. And then go and have a coffee. Nice. So you can see this is the back section, which all, you know, quite nice stainless, and then it's been welded to the original mild steel that goes up over the rear axle. Then here it's just rusted away. It's a common thing to happen. It's not looking very good at all. Don't think I can weld anything to that really. Still not sure I'm going to be able to make this work. And the other end in there is just as rusty, so we'll see how our new piece of pipe fits onto it. I don't think I'll be able to weld onto this though. You can see here is a really temporary fix. That will just slide into there. I can maybe clamp that. But we're talking about a super temporary fix here while we're waiting for a full stainless system to arrive, just so the car's drivable. I did manage to get the other nut off the clamp. Nice work from Mr. Blowtorch. Managed to get it off. Look at the state of this, man. Lovely. Gonna get a couple of new clamps Basically what the plan is now, because it's so far gone, we're gonna just, I guess at this point, wait for a new stainless system to either be made or see if we can find one on the internet, like a catback system or something. I know there are some available for around about 500 quid or something. But for now, what I'm just going to do is sleeve over the rusty bits with some a little bit of 2.5 inch pipe. So I'm going to cut a little bit of 2.5 inch pipe and sleeve it over, and then just clamp it to seal it, just so the exhaust fumes go out the back of the car for now, and it should be all right for a few 100 miles. So I'm going to get my bandsaw out and we're going to cut some metal. Well, we're going fresh out the box with the angle grinder. Oh, this 2.5 inch sleeve is too big for the exhaust, so I'm going to cut some slots, a few little slots with the angle grinder, so when I clamp it down to get a slightly better seal. Where's the spanner? There it is. Yeah, it's a bit more like it. So just spaff it on there and then do the same on the other side, and we'll have something that at least seals for a bit. Didn't really think about the orientation of this, but never mind, it's on there. It's got a decent enough seal, so we'll fit it and put the other end on. Job's a good one. Well, not my best work, but there you go. We've got an exhaust that now is sealed up temporarily, so happy days. Time for the first start. It's a bit nicer. Happy days. Clutch fan. So let's see if it's a bit better. Oh yeah, much better. Excellent. Yeah, a bit of a bodge, but at least it's miles better now. It's at least sealed, and you don't get that mad like external wastegate kind of noise when you get on boost. It just sounds more normal, like how it should. It was never going to get super quiet because the brake and the exhaust was after the silencer and the cat, so it was just straight pipe after that anyway. But at least the exhaust gases are going where they should be now. It's all sealed and it's going out of the tailpipe like it should. Happy days. So I think we'll leave it there. Hope you enjoyed the video, and obviously like, comment, subscribe, do all the good stuff, help us grow. I've recently reached a milestone on Instagram, 15,000 followers. Really appreciate that, especially if you're one of the guys who's come over from Instagram to subscribe to the YouTube. Really appreciate that. So the focus next few months, definitely going to try and get as many videos out and as regularly as possible and document the T6 build at every single step. Peace. I'll see you next time.